Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, October 18, 2021, Monday. Continuation of talk of quality and safety issues with same title Civil Field Engineering Life Engineers Quality AnnexSL Red and Silver SHE and Designs Constructions Method Contracts organizations, communications, coordination, and why always behind quality of material, works, etc., etc. Usual professional talk, daily talk as usual, with new thinking, new phrasing, and of course, renovation of everything. I have shown you these certificates as usual. You can say, you can read this. Quality required everywhere and in every activity in life and in engineering. And life is engineering based, which means that engineering is super life, like medical is super profession. SHE required everywhere during manufacturing, in processing, and in construction activities, and also during use of products and services. Whereas ergonomics is a science that tells everyone about how to use available energies for doing whatever work, activities in best possible safe manner so that involved worker is least impacted upon by adverse actions imposed upon by such activities. These requirements are certainly must. No way to respond these to no. Must ask yourself, no way out without good quality compliance applications. Good SHE compliance applications, nothing can move in right direction. SHE's very first consideration on each and every activity, on each and every project, and on each and every operation, all to be supported by applications of principles of ergonomics. Safety first. If safety is conducted, what happens? And if safety is not conducted, it is not what happens. Quality has to be complied with defined, specified, stated requirements within ambit of works, designs, valid specifications, quality ranges and elaborations. Depending on indicative descriptions, and there exists no unlimited scope of quality criteria to be carried out. No feature of no quality persists, and its specified requirements must be met in all respects. Engineers must realize quality facts. No work can be carried out in defined and designed sequence, and because of that, output suffers, resulting in bad standards of work produced. Method statement must. Method statements being must is necessary for activities implementation or else. Diverse ways can be adopted by site teams, forgetting no coordination approach and consequences would remain without achieving any level of uniformity and consistency. Inexperienced engineers may prove inefficient in viewing such risks based emergencies and therefore thorough deliberations or brainstorming must be conducted based on available data input. Risk must be clearly understood and defined to reach its necessary resolution and to convert to work convenience or else risk can be very expensive in terms of lives and cost. Must be accessibility defined and achieved. Reliability, safety from all involved factors plus successful serviceability of intended purpose plus mandated durability of its working plus all other necessary resources involved applicable knowledge areas factors which resources must be understood and achieved in all procedure else one should learn before taking responsibility and all foregoing issues must be considered along with all possible risks or else if failed all efforts go in vain. Analysis professionally a master tool for work contemplation is considered an exclusive engineering and life oriented basic and intellectual tool that can penetrate into all problems and other required solutions, and there exists no way from where or through which analysis approaches could be avoided. A must for all problems to be understood by approach, synthesis, and analytical based engineering result. To apply an analytical based points, right chain of solutions linking of large sequence can be named synthesis after all solutions are integrated by requirement of suitability. An analytical based engineering result to apply an analytical based performance provides a chain of solutions linking of that sequence can be named synthesis after all solutions are integrated by requirement of suitability. Compatibility is a must. All solutions network must reach compatibility, thinking and concentration certain powers to achieve everything, and that is thinking and concentration certain powers to achieve everything valued unlimited and only way an exclusive way for reaching solutions. Oh, really light. Non-conformance means engineer is either careless or ignorant or incompetent. One is therefore is redundant personal. We must change to meet requirements to achieve intended quality. Set standards for universal recognition of products or goods. Quality requirement checks being a must. Missing which, if we do not check quality, if we miss it, we have to blame ourselves for quality achievement failure. Engineering means quality application and continuous improvement of quality, that's CIQ. No way exists not to comply with defined or specified quality labels, because definition of quality is a must, and that definition requires to be achieved, or else work leads to status of being unsuccessful and to be performed. Engineers are problem solver, and engineers are developers, and engineers are agents of change. Engineer can convert a forest or a desert to a city or an industrial town, for which quality and safety plays integrate much vital roles in all respects. Quality system. We talked at length about this. We talked of class 1 scope, then we talked of class 2 normative references, and class 3 terms and definitions. Then we talked of context of organization in class 4. And we talked of class 6 planning, and we talked of class 7 support, and then we talked of class 8 operation. We talked of class 9 performance evaluation, and we got class 10, and that is improvement. And these were documents. We discussed contract documents, project schedule, contract drawings, contract specifications, execution method statements, specification method statements, and we'll discuss this about little. I'll discuss about this. I said contract documents. We know what are contract documents. We know very well which whatever documents included for listing contract documents can say contract form itself. Contract form means on which we sign contract. Let us say first of all it is letter of approval or letter of appointment as contractor. Contract conditions. Before contract conditions are contract which gives amount or fixed price sum. That is a form which we can say these are two parties. That is called contract. So contract means letter of approval of your bid or tender plus that contract form which gives an amount for this work, for this scope. Then we can say these are particular conditions of contract, whichever variations do exist from general conditions, which are named particular conditions. Those conditions document, and then comes below that general conditions of contract. These are main four. Then we can say we have to Start technical engineering, and that is specifications and drawings. All specifications, project specifications and general specifications, all disciplines drawings, schematic drawings, other drawings, whatever are there. And you can say then comes all other correspondences whatsoever are there, and whatever else we have, codes, norms. You can say it's a kind of priority based precedence. First priority goes to contract itself. Second priority goes to special conditions or particular conditions and general conditions. Then priority goes to specifications, whatever project specifications particularly designed for this project, general specifications, and whatever else, then drawings, and of course then codes, standards, and whatever else. You may be BOQ after that. Bill of quantities if it's included, though it's not that structured one, or there can be something else. These are once bid is agreed, bids is approved, all these documents can be enlisted in this precedence. Whatever precedence is defined, that is approved, that is accepted by both parties, party 1 employer and party 2 contractor. This point should be clearly understood how we can speak on contract documents. We'll come back to this. Then we can say in contract itself there are two documents. One is technical document or technical bid, other is commercial bid. That commercial bid that is projected on first priority document, whatever amount is agreed, that is projected there. And technical submission is a lot one, which is major part is project schedule, that is agreed now by everyone. That schedule becomes very much significant part of contract from executive and from contractual viewpoint. That's called project schedule, which gives time of start and time of practical completion, mechanical completion, and then final completion. We call it schedule, which is generally designed and drawn in shape, in form of Gantt chart. It can also be published, it can also be drawn in form of PERT or CPM. PERT stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and CPM stands for Critical Path Method. These are certain, you can say, standard forms, but generally Gantt chart is used, which we call in our conventional language bar chart. All level charts are drawn, bar charts, even our strength of workers, deployment of machines or equipment, and procurement of material. If you want to depict in form of histograms or proposed plans, bar chart is used for that purpose, even in terminology of charts. Then we talk of contract drawings and contract specification. What are contract drawing and what are not contract drawing? We have also to understand this part. In fact, whatever drawings are included with tenders or whatever are finally agreed, the list of contract documents, those drawings are converted from tender or bid drawings to contract drawings when contract is awarded. It has been awarded. Those drawings, though these may be schematic or these may be working, all are given status of contract documents. These drawings require to be fulfilled from implementation viewpoint. There is no way we can question these drawings. Whatever is indicated on these drawings, whatever is specified on drawings, every point covers contract requirements. Maybe BOQ does not state anything, maybe specifications do not specify anything, but it's a part of contract, provided sequence has to be understood. First comes specifications, and parallel to or immediate sequence comes drawings. So we have to respect these drawings in that way, because these are announcing drawings, these are mandating drawings. Whatever is given on these, that should be worked, that should be carried out. In relevance to specifications, of course, in relevance to scope of work. Because when we say scope of work, this is very important, because that is first part of contract. What we have to do is called scope of work. If it is explicitly defined, it's welcome. If it's ambiguously defined, even then we have to relate it to specifications and drawings. If it's not exclusively, expressly defined. So there are so many issues as such. Then we can say specifications are contract specifications, which are particular one as well as general one. Particular one are particularly and specifically made objectives for project, while generally those specifications we name general one, they are meant for all projects. For a particular project, specific items can be added. Whatever specifics from manufacturers can also be added. It depends on what items cover this or are covered in this scope of work, scope of contract. So these are specifications. We can say general, special, or particular, or proprietary. All in combination can be called specifications, which is always big volume. There can be hundreds or more specifications on every project. It can contain schedules, it can contain lists, it can contain paragraph, it can contain engineering, or it can contain whatever else is demanded or expected or interpreted from contract viewpoint. Then we talk of certain method statements. We have to say what is method, how shall we do this project, how shall move on this, what shall be our strategy to start and complete this project, so that whole project as defined is done with. That is really very important one, and that relates to drawings, which are executive one, which are shop and working, and there is no limit for those drawings. There can be hundreds and hundreds of such drawings, and these come from all disciplines of this whatever project. Same way, method statements is all supportive documents actually. Shop and working drawings, method statements, codes which are of national status and which are of international status. There may be national annexes which are, you can say, for example, European codes define this, which can be European codes or some other code which are of international character that apply to whole area, but particularly localized requirements can be there. Those localized requirements are always very specific, very general, very particular, and these cannot be taken for granted. Localized requirements, and those we can say national annexes. Then various other documents are also available. Means these are generally we can say. So we can have a lot discussion on this. Means what does it mean actually? This means is that means all these documents in this priority list can be called project documents, contract documents, and these all spec in can say independently as well as in reciprocation, or you can say collective information. Which one has to be given priority one? It depends from contract downwards to each and every details of contract. If there is any problem, if there is exposed any problem about values of these documents, considerations, and making decisions based on informations contained within these documents, this precedence, which we call priority requirement, priority list, that is to be scaled out proportionally. And if we don't scale out accordingly, then we have to face problems. But the important point is contract and then specifications and then drawings. These are prime one. These are prime one, prime in a sense that these are all decision making supports, decision making tools, statements, working statements, method statements, or we can say execution statements, activity based method statements. These can vary. Codes cannot be changed, but codes can always be taken into consideration when required. Same way, there can be codes, national annexes, which every country publishes. So we have to respect national codes and international codes, though it's not very much useful in working stage, but in design stage particularly these are used if you have EPC or some other system. And then we have to see a mix up of all these documents is required to be used for purpose of contract. A mix up, which is very important point. We have to understand very clearly what is that mix up, why it is done, and that's really very strongly it is to be understood. Only then we can say. I'm trying to go to says I like to get into our purposes for quality system. EPC contracting is very much very much different. An organization where a system to take care of comfortable achieving its set objectives. Its set objectives बार बार दे रहे हैं, बारिश में बुलाई जा रही है, पागल हो गए बिजली वाले. An organization An organization adopts a system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives, which being in this case winning from certain plant promoting company in EPC contracting for facilities and related building construction. System comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which lead to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management or risk solutions, and increase customer company satisfaction by meeting product or service expectations. In this case, product is EPC contracting facilities plus buildings construction for certain plant facility, which facility being promoted for implementing patented technology through defined chemical process or plants producing required products. Organizations do work on various management systems, various organization systems, say quality management, environment management, safety management, security management, or these leaderships. Also, systems apply in this case directly as well indirectly. Now we have discussed about AnnexSL for every such requirement. We do not understand again, but these various systems in line to ISO 9001 2008 used to work on varying management structures causing inconvenience to interface with each other. But now all these issues shall be dealt with as framed in a common template. AnnexSL is a high level management system structure which has produced a common platform. So as all systems that organizations adopt can be drawn based on AnnexSL designs or format. EPC contracting facilities and buildings construction can be easily defined within AnnexSL format. Intentionally, both promoting company and EPC contractors organizations have been tried to be included on one AnnexSL format only for purpose of clarity to understand real working on such projects. Though practically both company promoting company and EPC contractors adopt their respective systems individually or separately. Such arrangement provides many commonalities in designing system, implementing, monitoring, evaluation, and improvement by trying to eliminate conflicts that existed within 2008 system. Various stages related to contracting facilities, EPC contracting facilities. Now I'm talking of EPC contracting plus building construction can be covered within an AnnexSL template successfully. All systems shall have single high level. All systems shall have single high level identical core text, which common terms and definitions, which can be defined within AnnexSL. High level structure cannot be changed, but we can say discipline specific subclauses can be both added or changed As such, additions may be made where required. Related to EPC contracting facilities, buildings construction, AnnexSL applies to all systems, standards, publicly available specifications, and technical specifications as well as customized requirements. About revisions, can say as 9001, 14001, 45,001, etc. shall all be based on AnnexSL high level structure. We are related to, in this case, do not intend included herein. AnnexSL template down shown below is only for indicative guidance to apprise an engineer how new system adopted by ISO effective September 2015 who work to produce organizational prime quality document which shall govern whole organization quality process required by business, adding accountability shareable by business and technocrat leaders. Where and whatever requirements demand, items can be added as subclasses, but no deletions can be made. Purpose of this template is just to project quality track demanded by ISO 9001 2015 system, which is a mandate published by ISO and without which applications, all existing registered certifications stand invalid. Okay, this AnnexSL adoption is a must for new quality system. Let's go to format again. This format again. Let's go to this format and see what happens. I close previous one now. There's no requirement of that being. It is. Scope S1. What does it say? In EPC, now we are talking silver actually. FIDIC silver we are talking. And this is class 1 scope. And what we can say in this inclusion is, it says, what it says is includes intended outcome of system, intended outcome of organizational management system, which are industry specific and should be aligned with clause 4, and that is context of organization. This is clause 1 and we know clause 4, so it says that we have to link together for better understanding. Now what is scope related introduction is. Now I am talking about my experience as well. I had an opportunity to work for many years on some petrochemical related projects. During my job career in GCC countries, which attained experiences, supported me to contemplate few points drawn from such projects. Priority to including scope content, it is preferred to reflect certain basic description about industrial green projects so that it may be supportive to understand for those readers, audience who are not conversant with plant facilities project components. and requirements. But these descriptions have been drawn from those projects, while which, which projects do not have any relation to other projects. Therefore, while dealing with writing context of specific projects only involved processing trains related to plant facilities, engineering technologies should be included based on company design right product patent. Such quality objectives scope is required to be written by company only. Company herein means company herein means an organization. Company herein means an organization which is responsible for this patent product entirely in all respects. Produce, feed, FEED, designs, detailing, execute, supervise, approve works, and finally commission plant based on performance results. On such major project, company is designated as a prime representative of state, or generally such organizations are state owned or could be in status of public private partnership PPE, but rarely PPE. Company awards designs and execution works to certain prime contracting organizations on scope status EPC. Prime contractor. Prime contractor further sublets civil works, electromechanical, security, CCTV, SCADA, and various other disciplines to approved subcontractors who execute respective discipline in conformance to company and prime contractors' requirements. Company head acts as engineer to be contractually responsible in all respects. Example for such companies being Qatar Petroleum, Abu Dhabi National Oil Corporation, Aramco, etc. Scope backing, an industrial development processing facility formation, an industrial development process facility formation. This is now we're talking about scope backing. Scope, what is scope? It is necessary. It is necessary in interest of economical development that an industrial project should be efficiently promoted for industry being backbone of a nation, which keeps nation moving forward, improving quality of life of its subjects. Sooner is industry created, better would be prospects for economy, nation. Therefore, value engineering should be efficiently applied to products. Goods proposed to be facilitated to enable consumer be delivered with most economic and quality products. It says value engineering should be efficiently applied to products. or goods proposed to be facilitated to enable consumer to be delivered with or avail with most economic and quality products. When when we talk of industrial development, when we talk of industrial development, we target to achieve potential industries for long-term production of intended products that may cost in billions of dollars. Its concept, front end design, that is FEED, design execution, would certainly quantify to considerable quality, cost, and time in every respect. All types of major industries require development in line to meet public or economy requirement of nation or of internations. What class of what class of industries should be promoted for modernization depends on various relevant criteria as well as development value engineering. Oil and gas, power, steel, aluminum, water resources, nuclear energy, and many other infrastructures. These are, you can say, economical leadership areas, economical lead areas, you can say. And these are oil and gas, power, steel, aluminum, water resources, nuclear energy, and many other areas, infrastructure areas, do require promotion not only for an exclusive sake of commercial business, but also for sake of social, economical development and sustainability. It has been tried to include various procedures or steps in common that are required to promote onshore downstream petrochemical facilities, which is meant for meeting national and international requirements by products extracted out of natural products. It should be kept in view that promotion of certain potential industrial unit is a national planning job. It's a national planning job which must be based on thorough feasibility studies and research, operational research relevant to long, many years consideration. Since promotion of such development affects to some extent utilization of natural resources available within earth store that should not be blindly explored, but a balance must be maintained for future generation to come, which we call sustainability. Therefore, adopted decisions must be based on certain criteria that available resources may not be exhausted at fast pace by current generation to affirmatively maintain sustainability. Explorations must not be solely destined to just making money out of natural resources. Policy decision. Policy decision, authorization, technology promotion. Involved government involved government should promptly work out policy, required policy, relevant policy in a positive manner, for time is extremely important. For time is extremely an important factor that should be used properly to get optimum use of project, provided adequate fundings or funds required are available within allocation of budget or institutional financial borrowing be made. Value engineering should be properly studied by experts to reach a conclusion that proposed product shall be processed imparting no adverse impact to existing environment. Proposed product shall be processed imparting no adverse impact to existing environment, shall be most economical in production cost, shall be an easy one to be transported to consumer market or end user facility, shall be most beneficial to national society from every aspect, every view of cost, economy, uplift as well, shall promote use of green technology and provide benefits to all people located globally in long run. A right and reliable charter must be constituted at every at very initial stage of conception for a permanent reference, including various information such as aim, target, policy, political impacts on area and nation, rehabilitation and other bad effects, requirement of additional infrastructures, generation of employment opportunities in both stages of promotion of project as well as its operation and maintenance technology, stakeholders, current value, earned value, long run value, continuous benefits, expected, risks of all sorts, whether or not other alternative products could be promoted to achieve better value engineering. Sustainable development means state of an art technology that has been developed for application on projects, which technology does not go against existing requirements and neither impacts adversely on availability of natural resources when future generation may for sure require all such resources, which means that both current and future generations should enjoy availability of all natural resources as well as friendship with green technologies without compromising with positive effects of nature. Value engineering. Value engineering plays a significant role to many extents when use of technologies promotions is concerned. There could, huh? पौने पाँच पौने पाँच Value engineering plays a significant role to many extents when use of technologies promotion is concerned. There could be options as far as technologies are concerned, which options based on considerable factors and various aspects would decide which technological application shall deliver better results on proceeds of product in long term as well as in short term. I repeat, there could be options as far as technologies are concerned, which options based on considerable factors and various aspects would decide which technologies application shall deliver better results on proceeds of product in long term as well as in short term. Short term facts. Short term facts could be consideration of land cost, design considerations, construction cost, product environment friendly impacts, transportation cost, availability of experts and artisans, etc. While long-term considerations would be maintenance cost, life of projects or facility, safety risks involved, public risks involved, future availability of alternate, easy and economical technologies that be currently under research stage, facilities requirement. Value engineering based effective application, effective technology, product and user requirement, necessity, approval and financing, international competition, cost effectiveness, safety, health and environment, tenability, sustainability. Should these points be met, should these points requirements be met by proposal, project may be given a go ahead subject to meeting other engineering criteria. Once value engineering factor has been included, once value engineering factor has been included into plan consideration with full integrity and incorporation of provisions in line with national and international policy for such evolutionary developments, there remains no meaning to delay projects. But projects initiation by charter, authorization by respective stakeholders should be done. Finances have to be allocated. Finances allocation is a must to statutory requirements to give a go ahead to various phases or stages of project development so that delivery be made in defined time. For follow up, फिर गई for follow up operations for consumers or end users. Since facilities demand incorporation of inputs from various disciplines, personal, material and equipment with licensed technology, every criteria must be kept in consideration for a final startup. Facility justification and feasibility. Environmental sustainability, cost viability in long term, nationally beneficial to add to economic growth, multi-purpose approach and creation of employment, casual as well as regular, export potential product, processing technology and availability of raw or natural resource materials, adequacy of availability of terrain and routes, selection of planning and execution mode, availability of expertise and experts along with all other interrelated professionals, availability of all human and all other resources, their original sources, international agreements for bilateral trades with the producing nation, finalization of design rights, copyright, process technology, licenses, agreements or various contract forms, adoption, agreements on international workforce migration for projects, public-private partnership or government responsibility or international joint ventures, availability of relevant trade zones based on subsidy for industrial promotion in general, public interest for long term construction and operations, certainty of return by reliable proceeds after a defined set of years or an assessed duration, after which investment is made an asset for remaining life of plant facility. When we talk of some project, whatever project it may be, it's our endeavor to know as much as possible about that project because knowledge is important. What is that project? What purpose it will serve? How shall it happen? That we should know. Even if we don't know about that, we have to know at least what does it have, how it shall work, how shall it link, and how shall it get its natural support. All these we should know before doing or going to take such a risk of heavy economical financial investment without even studying that. We should not jump just to say we are doing it, we have done it. We can't answer questions, queries of questions. Answering no query questions, so questions, no solutions itself means it's an indicator that leadership is weak. Leadership, economical leadership, political leadership is weak. We have to therefore give priority to ourselves to at least understand, at least to know what is contained, what's included in that project, and those facilities which you are going to start. That's really very important point. Every facility is different, every sector is different, technologies could be different, experienced hands could be different. No, because people have no criteria to interact. They're only interested in self, not in others. It's therefore our duty to emphasize to know everything about what is product, what we will achieve by that. Here we are going to discuss only few points. Maybe these are not everything, but only for purpose to understand what we are going to build. It says components, elements of certain processing plant, processing facility, inclusions in general. What are those? It says availability of natural gas, say availability of natural gas or oil fields. From where? From natural resources are being tapped from there, out from offshore locations of various seabeds, founded rigging platforms, allowing risers, lead pipes to upstream onshore slug tanks. This can be one component or can be imagination. We can say availability of all well-equipped facilities, availability of all well-equipped facilities of shipment, platforms, injections and risers for raw oil delivery from seabed. Availability of land for required downstream processing area onshore with acceptable terrain, axial terrain, that may be used for operating complete chemical process engineering applications used on well designed trains, as well as transportation of proceeds, processed products or by-products to specifically located outlets leading to consumers' locations. Plant processing scheme and technology, both for greenfield and brownfield. Errors on field, sorry for that. with greenfield FIELD should be supported with authorization by legal license valid for defined period. Liquid natural gas, we call LNG, tanks made of cryogenic steel, RCC, PSC, containments with spillage and other components, etc., for storage purpose at considerable minus temperature. Plant processing trains, elements complete with detailed descriptions of heavy and light industrial equipment. Utilities areas, element for integration with plant equipment. Offsites, element for sub-assistance to aforesaid. Intake piping system, temp arrangements for circulation and delivery into plant equipment for cooling process or application. Seawater basin for storage of seawater to be used for cooling purpose during various processes. Delivery of cooling water to plant and then recirculation for further cycle of processes, cooling. Piping, pipe supports, pipe sleepers and pipe racks for product transportation and relevant handling operational activities. Service air, instrument air circulation pipe, chlorination plant with complete system. Package chlorination plant with complete system package for purpose of chlorinating water for supplies to plant use. Storage and warehousing for physical handling of subsidiaries. Drainage infrastructure from plant to receiving basin and then to outfall structure through discharge channels duly provided with metal lugs and channels. Ditches completely lined to convey out to final discharge storm water from various catchments area of plant. Complete package drainage system for oily water, acid water, dusty water, sewage, etc. that comprises of hundreds of RC manholes, many kilometers of pipeline connection with such manhole and chambers. So it says complete package drainage system for only oily water, acid water, dusty water, sewage, etc. that comprises hundreds RCC manholes, many kilometers of pipelines, connection with such manholes and chambers, leading and disposing to sewage treatment plants STPs. Water line for STP, water line for whole line, can say water line for whole site, whatever water lines be required for various purposes, including loss prevention, that is fire suppression, firefighting with fresh water, as well as with backup water, sewage, seawater, supply from seawater surface or from depth. We can say again complete package, also water line for whole site for various purposes including loss prevention, that's fire suppression, firefighting, fresh water, as well as with backup seawater supply from seawater reservoir or elsewhere. Cooling water line provision, cooling water line provision throughout whole industrial area zone, taking in water from intake, taking water from intake, at sea, supplying to industries units, and then through return header discharging to sea directly after being supplied once, as well as employing cooling water system technology to recirculate used water while only makeup water to be supplied. Pipe supports, pipe anchors, pipe anchors, general anchors, big anchors, thrust blocks placed at various defined spacings. Pipe supports, pipe anchors, general anchors, big anchors, thrust blocks placed at various defined spacings. So you can see pipe supports, pipe anchors, general anchors, big anchors, thrust blocks place various defined spacings of pipeline. Pipe supposed to be connected to sleepers. Pipe supports to be connected to sleepers and direct supports using structural steel connections for both direct clamping as well as achieving sliding action to make up for expansion, which supports are often considerably heavy units for considerable size pipe. So it says pipe supports to be connected to sleepers and direct supports using structural steel connections for both direct clamping, as well as achieving sliding action to make up for expansion, which supports are often considerably heavy units for considerable size pipe. Electrical heat tracing, electrical heat tracing provision for piping system carrying minus temperature liquid or gas to keep maintain pipe on required temperature, so it's allowing not allowing freezing of the material. For example, sulfur gas can freeze within pipeline. Heat tracing works dedicatedly encompassing pipes. Heat tracing works dedicatedly encompassing pipes, transferring thermal energy to pipe and then to internal available gas at minus temperature, so that gas does not freeze in pipe but keeps on flowing at specified temperature and velocity. Non-blast buildings, non-blast buildings such as administration as well as amenities buildings, elements for facilitating operation and maintenance as well as consumer supply, receipt station that should contain various offices with access control, electrical main station, substation, switch gears, package substations, pump houses, guard houses, visitors areas, ring main units, transformers, ring main units generally for firefighting, transformers, practicals, heavy duty armored cables, centralized control to all such supporting on-site or off-site buildings for electrical distribution system and security system. Blast building such as central controlled as well as operation building to control whole plant's operations from one single location, monitoring all engineering disciplines, plant surveillance 24/7, blast buildings such as central control building as well as operations building to control whole plant operations from one single location, monitoring all engineering disciplines, plant surveillance 24 hours, 7 days a week. Consumer receipt stations to be used by consumer delivery control located at gatehouse. Intake pump houses. Intake pump houses and other processing pump houses at various locations duly integrated for controls all over plant facility. Water retaining structures such as below ground pipes, below ground sumps, water retaining structures such as below ground sumps, receiving basins, drainage, drainage channels, outfall discharges to sea. Site security arrangements, fencing, surveillance by installation of CCTV with state-of-art technology. Site telecommunications of all sorts for of efficient use by operating personnel available on you can say site security arrangements, fencing, surveillance, installation of CCTV with state-of-art technology, site telecommunications of all sorts for efficient use by operating personnel available in all security zones spread over entire facility. All loss prevention arrangements including internal and external firefighting. Use site telecommunications of all sorts and efficient use by operating personnel available on all security zones spread over entire facility, all loss prevention arrangements including internal external firefighting, all arrangements to cater for fire emergency, blast emergency or seismic emergency. Fire tender station is significant. Fire tender station is significant to cater for this facility. Adequacy of plant. Adequacy of plant and non-plant area of roads. Adequacy of plant and non-plant area of roads and paving. Maintenance, track, road crossings, utility crossings, road culverts, pipe culverts, transit manholes, controlled defensive traffic movement and circulations, etc. Because adequacy of plant and non-plant area of roads, paving, maintenance, tracks, road crossings, utility crossings, culverts, pipe culverts, transit manholes, controlled effective, defensive traffic movement and circulation, etc. Then soil erosion protection. Soil erosion protection for all machines and equipment so that all these equipment should not get damaged due to possible negative impact by heavy dust laden storms. We can say I repeat, soil erosion protection for all machines and equipment, so that all these equipment should not get damaged. Damaged. You can say facility byproduct. Facility byproduct. Hi, family facility byproduct plants, facility byproduct plants as extensions, and all required elements for that. All related civil engineering disciplinary structures, all related civil engineering discipline structures for buildings, sheds, equipment, vessels, as well as other processing and non-processing equipment. Vessels such as cracking furnaces, vessels such as cracking furnaces, wash, wash water structures, cracked gas compressor, propane compressor, ethane compressor, boilers, auxiliary boilers, various types of spares, steel tanks, fuel towers, rotary equipment, reciprocating equipment, etc. shall be made part of plant with necessary foundations for these elements do or compartments or these components for these elements or components to be constructed in line according to defined requirements. Massive concrete blocks. Massive concrete blocks shall be required for many such major foundations which are to found for heavy vessels, which are required to be found for heavy vessels. Then we can say next line, civil engineering foundations. Civil engineering foundations structural requirements shall vary from a simple machine plinth to independent footings. Civil engineering foundations structural requirements shall vary from a simple machine plinth to stiff footings, to raft, and to piles, as well as massive block foundation. We go to chapter 70. And what I will just say, civil engineering foundations structural requirements shall vary from simple machine plinth to independent footings and to combined footings, to step footings, to rafts and piles, as well as massive block foundations. Concrete shall generally depend or based on based on will say concrete shall generally be low heat producing cement based manufacturing by using microsilica or GGBS ground granulated blast furnace slag replacement cement up to 70% cement solutions. Concrete should generally be low heat, producing cement-based manufactured by using microsilica or GGBS ground granulated blast furnace slag that stands for the GS replaced cement up to 75%. Replacement of cement up to 70% extent. Also pulverized fly ash PFA cement replacement. Supporting bases of pipe racks may be allowed either by steel structures or RCC construction, steel structure or RCC construction, both, one either. Foundations of pipe racks shall generally be of RCC basis or independent footings. Overhead crossing shall be required at many locations. We can say foundations of pipe racks shall generally be of RCC basis or independent footings. Overhead crossing shall be required at many locations for various en route piping. To jump over existing plant circulation routes. Such overhead crossings could be constructed using structural steel overhead crossing shall be required at many locations for various en route piping to jump over existing plant circulation roads. Such overhead crossings could be constructed using internal. Such overhead crossings should be constructed using structural steel and cathodic protection, both critical and non-critical, should be provided chemicals. Can say cathodic protection, both critical and non-critical requirement for centralized corrosion control of plant reinforcement from a central control sacrificial anode station shall also be provided for long-term corrosion monitoring and control. Respecting reinforcement bars. Earthing provisions for all individuals, structures, equipment as well as network. Color, color that is green, red, etc. Covered cable trenches. Now we say control, control. We say for controls colored green, red, covered cable, trenches, RCC vault, buried directly to ground, or cable duct shall also be included in design forming a major part of certain facility. These ducts shall be coordinated. These ducts shall be coordinated to various interfaces. These ducts shall be coordinated to various interface crossing, requiring site resolutions to protect plant supporting services, interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete pavement, heavy duty concrete pavement. Yes, nice. Alright, and we can say these ducts shall be coordinated in various interface crossings requiring site resolutions to protect plant supporting services, interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete pavement shall be provided in all plant areas. So you can see these ducts shall be coordinated to various interfaces, crossings requiring site resolutions to protect plant supporting services, interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete, heavy duty concrete pavement, heavy duty concrete pavement. These ducts shall be coordinated in various interface crossings, requiring site solutions to protect plant supporting services, interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete pavement shall be provided. Heavy duty concrete pavement shall be provided in all plant areas for required purpose of its maintenance, respecting machines as well as movement of heavy vehicles. On other areas where no pavement is included, stone aggregate shall be spread and compacted to avoid soil adverse impact effect on all vessels or equipment. In addition, all important administration areas shall be allowed an attractive soft and hard landscape architectural provision. Access security arrangement shall also be made with automatic controls using card readers or fingerprints, scanning, etc. And installation of CCTV for continuous control and records. Inclusion of flare towers. Inclusion of flare towers and radio masts and radio masts is also contemplated. Flare towers, inclusion of flare towers and radio masts is also contemplated. Process areas. Process areas means areas within which chemical trains work to run defined technology, to work over adaptive process. Non-process areas are those which are located outside limits of process areas and support process areas. Administration area. Administration area is that where are accommodated buildings and required facilities to meet plant's demands for administrative and maintenance support. Administrative area may comprise of administration building, administration area is that where administration area may comprise of administrative building or administration building, amenities building, warehouse building, stores, fire station, etc. All structures of whatever materials, all structures of whatever materials are located are designed blast resistant buildings. All structures of whatever materials are designed or designated blast resistant buildings which are located within process areas. Blast resistant buildings which are located within process areas. All structures of whatever materials are designated blast resilient buildings. Blast resilient buildings which are located in 200-meter range from process area. All other structures of whatever materials are located away from 200-meter process area to within 600-meter range are designated non-blast structures. We are going to just explain something very limited, means only for, we are just maintain very limited. It's very limited, and it's, so you can say, just a price of what components could be possibly included on some facilities. It's not necessary that whatever is only for purpose of information. Only for purpose of information. These components have been named, but not necessary. And these would form plants, components on other areas, possibly, maybe, may not be. But information is provided so that people should know there could be possibility of process area plants are these process area and plants. These are non-process area, these are blast areas, these are blast resistant areas, these are offsite utilities, this is, ordinary area. In fact, there are a lot more. It's just for making awareness among ourselves, what can be done, what cannot be done. There's no certainty in that, but we must know what can be done, what cannot be done, what should be done, what should not be done. Everything is possible in that world, we can say. Some, I think, had some, if I remember, I still want to get out information for you regarding that, if I can. It's not. I'm trying to find something. Probably I'm missing something. Yeah, it's something I can show you that one if you think it's right. Yeah, it's there. I try to show you that. Which is the file. This is, I think, this will not work. This will not work. Something else is required, Photo. What's that? It's also PowerPoint presentation. I think it's not, let me see what is that actually, if I can convert this to that. So I think this is what I wanted to show you, like that. This is what I wanted to show you. This is a real plant facility. Real plant facility visits. Let's say this is C here, this is intake, and there's some road existing there. Now this is warehouse area. This is intake, this is warehouse, this is administration area, and there are other structures as well. And point is here, this area, this portion. This is process plant area. Technical area you can say. And this is a processing C pulse area. That is your cooling water system. This is wire. This, for example, are station buildings, electrical buildings. This lagoon, and is has somewhere outfall structures here, for example, outfall. It's kind of something you can say. This is main area. This is supporting area. This is a flare tower. You see here, flare tower. This is flare tower, and these are all pipe racks. These are all pipe racks. These are rows, and these are pipe racks here. And going like this. I think we'll take on later on this. I'll take care of later on. So I'll now close it. Thank you very much.